boy Willie Does Wrestling back at it again with a brand new stream and a brand new review. And NXT Stand and Deliver just finished, uh, streaming, and I watched it in its entirety, and holy shit, that was an incredible pay per view start to finish. I think um besides the women's tag team title match, I feel like NXT Stand and Deliver has to be probably one of the greatest NXT shows I've ever seen in the entirety of me being a wrestling fan. So this review is just going to be me giving my thoughts, very brief thoughts and opinions on the show. You guys can let me know whether you are watching this live or whether you are watching the video replay. How you guys thought on the show down in the comments below. Of course, I am in the beautiful paradise here. Not a green screen, I assure you guys. Um, but NXT Stand and Deliver. We'll go over everything that happened, and as always, we started off with the NXT Women's Championship um ladder match, NXT Women's Championship ladder match, where Roxanne faced Tiffany Stratton, Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Indy Hartwell, and Lyra Valkyra, or however the fuck you pronounce her last name. I can never understand how you pronounce her last name. And this match was fucking brutal. These women were doing things that I have never seen people do before. Brutal ladder spots, fucking insane athleticism from all the women. This is a theme for a lot of the night. It's very brutal, and there's a lot of high brutal spots. Um, Coming into this, I predicted. Who did I say? I said Roxanne earlier for our SmackDown review, and then I said, before that, think I said Tiffany Stratton. Neither of those women won, which caught me by surprise. And you know who won? Well, Indy Hartwell was all alone in the ring. She took out the whole field. Um, but she couldn't get up because her ribs were too fucked up. Out comes Dexter Loomis to lift Indy up and help her grab the championship. I was like, holy shit. Because think about the way that Indy Hartwell was booked beforehand. She was losing a lot. She was probably everyone's sleeper pick. And the fact that Dexter Loomis came in and helped Indy Hartwell become the NXT Women's Champion, this might be a hot take, but I want Dexter Loomis full time on NXT after this. I think the duo of NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell and the creepy ass Dexter Loomis bodyguard would come together immensely. So that was how we started off the night. The second match, if I remember correctly, was the triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team Championship between Gallus, the family, and the Creeds. Now, the family had a amazing amount of offense. Stax and Tony D'Angelo. I actually thought they were going to win at some point. Um, I pretty much guaranteed that the Creeds wouldn't, and I think Wolf did too, because I think the Creeds are going to the main roster at some point. But the ending of this was the return of the return of Joe Coffey. Gallus is back at full force, and they retain their tag team titles. Now, who do I think Gallus will face next for the NXT tag titles? I could really see it being either the family one-on-one, or I would have it uh I'll have it be against Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly were the hosts, of course, and they were doing a bunch of backstage segments. They weren't really doing much. But Gallus is even more dominant. They're back to their NXT UK roots, which is great. Joe Coffey coming back to NXT 2.0 is absolutely sick. Yeah, I liked this match. I liked the showing of Tony and Stacks 100%. This match has a good grade for me. After this, um, we had the North American Championship Fatal 5-Way match between Wesley, Dragon Lee, Ilya Dragunov, JD McDonough, and Axiom. This match was absolutely insane. These guys went at it for fucking, I don't know how long. The match was long. All 5 men had an incredible showing for the North American Championship. And I love the fact that the North American Championship is just this prestigious to the point where whenever that North American Championship is on the line, people are going to get their fucking ass beat. And it had everything. Ilya Dragunov was like busted open at one point. The athleticism on the part of Axiom and Wesley were fucking great. The spots were brutal. There was one point where Dragon Lee did a double stomp on the chest of Wesley, I think, and his knee hit the apron, and it looked fucking brutal. I loved this. I think I already said Ilya Dragunov was busted open at one point. Um, amazing spots, lots of near falls. There was a devastating double submission by Axiom on both JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov. JD almost won at one point. Can we talk about how amazing Dragon Lee is, and his high flying and his wrestling style is just absolutely fucking great. I honestly thought that they would either pull the trigger on someone like JD McDonough, or I honestly thought that they were going to pull the trigger on Dragon Lee in this first ever match. That could have just been me, but hey, the champion retains. Wesley is still the NXT North American champion, and you got to respect that, honestly. So yeah, Wesley is becoming more and more impressive. It's shocking that the fact that it had to take his tag team partner to get released for Wesley to become the champion. Well, he's no longer the champion on NXT. We'll get more to that later. So yeah, it's fucking incredible. Wesley retains his North American Championship in quick fashion. And yeah, I mean, what more can I say? This match was brutal. This was definitely match of the night. I don't care what anybody says. That North American Championship Fatal 5-Way was absolutely sick. After this, it was Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller in an unsanctioned match. Again, the theme of the night was spot heavy and brutal. And I don't care what anybody says. I like it being spot heavy and brutal to an extent because it's rare to see that on a WWE product. AEW, that's a whole different story, but we're not going to have that conversation today. It had everything. It had Candice LeRae in the front row. Grayson Waller was dominating Gargano for most of it. Um, it had tables, it had chairs, it had fucking kendo sticks. Did you all see Grayson Waller's back and how it looked like? I think Booker T said it looked like uh grounded up hamburger. Like I don't know how the fuck you can have that comparison, but yeah, no, it was fucking great. Both these men, whenever there's a Johnny Gargano match on NXT, you know it's gonna fucking deliver, which is a shame with the way Johnny's being booked on the main roster. But I'm glad that Shawn Michaels gave Johnny another you know, another hat toss in the ring or whatever. Um, one point in the match, Candice LeRae gave Quill to someone who I assume is her sister, and she just starts beating the fuck out of Grayson Waller with a kendo stick until Johnny beats the fuck out of Grayson with the kendo stick. Uh, at one point, Grayson comes back in the match and he power bombs Johnny through a table. And then Johnny comes back and he power bombs Grayson through the announce table, low blows. And then Johnny Johnny hits the Gargano escape and Grayson taps. Not gonna lie, I thought that they would pull the trigger on Grayson Waller here because Johnny is on the main roster, and I thought that they were gonna give a passing of the torch, have you? Because Johnny was NXT Takeover like king, and I thought they were gonna make Grayson Waller the 3.0 generation Johnny Takeover. But you know what? Johnny had another moment, and here's something I would have done. But I guess Ciampa's not well still. But I honestly thought Ciampa was going to come out and help Johnny. But I'm kind of glad Ciampa didn't. These two tore the house down, and it was absolutely sick. Johnny won. And again, like I said with Dexter Lumis, I kind of want Johnny back on NXT because the way he's being booked on the main roster is not right by any means. Then we had the Way come out. They're all celebrating. Candice, Johnny, uh, Dexter, and Indy. Indy's out there at the NXT Women's Championship that she won earlier in the night. I am still shocked by that they pulled the trigger on Indy Hartwell with the way she was booked for the longest time. The Way all comes out and they're all celebrating, and it's almost like a hey, look where we are now kind of thing, and it was just fucking satisfying. The Way carried that pandemic era of NXT, and to see them back together, it was absolutely fucking sick. Afterwards, we had the bathroom break match, in my opinion, which was Kiana James and Fallon Henley defending the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships against Ela Dawn and Alba Fire. To be honest with you, I didn't watch this. Is it bad that I didn't fucking watch this? I was too busy doing something else. All I know is we have new women's tag team champions in Alba Fire and Ela Dawn. To that, I say, why didn't you just have Caden Carter and Katana Chance fucking drop the belts? Why do we need to have these fucking two other people? And I don't watch NXT every week, so maybe someone can fill me in on this. Why did we have that? Like Fallon Henley and Kiana James when Caden Carter and Katana Chance were right there, right? But you know what? I like the fact that an actual fucking built up women's tag team are the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Fucking main roster, take notes. A tag team with fucking chemistry in the women's division are the tag team champions. Um, then we get to our main event. Like I said, this review is very brief. We get our main event. Braun Breaker defending the NXT Championship against Carmelo Hayes. Fucking love this. And it was a good pay-per-view. Sean, I definitely agree with you. It was a great pay-per-view. Like I said, besides the match with the women's tag, it was definitely great. So Braun and Carmelo had a very great technical showdown. There was many spots where I felt like Braun was going to win here, and I thought that they were going to waste a good NXT title opportunity for Carmelo Hayes. Earlier on in the match, Trick Williams got ejected from ringside, but however, I think Braun attempted a spear, and the referee was down. And you know what happens whenever the referee is down? Trick Williams comes back, hits Braun Breaker at the NXT Championship, which allows Carmelo to hit the discount code breaker and hit the Mellow Don't Miss 1, a 2, a 3. Carmelo Hayes is your new NXT champion, and we can all rejoice. And that's why I'm making this video right now, because otherwise I would have waited for tomorrow. Dylan, I'm sorry. You're doing your watch along, or you're taking your break from your watch along. But Carmelo Hayes is going to usher in a new era of NXT now that he is the NXT champion, and I am so fucking happy. Carmelo Hayes has proven time and time again, ever since his debut, that he is him. He is him. He is definitely the greatest in NXT. Where does Braun Breaker go from here? I say Braun Breaker, you call him up. You call him up to the fucking main roster. Why not? Braun has everything it takes. Braun could enter a feud with Brock. That's how I would book it. Saudi Arabia, book it. Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar in a fucking Falls Count Anywhere match, let's say. I think that would definitely be sick. Neil, thank you for joining the stream. You rated a 7 out of 10. I honestly would rate it an 8.5. That's a very high rating for my standards, an 8.5. And the reason why I rated an 8.5 is that it was entertaining throughout. And there was some shocking moments. I did not think that they would pull the trigger on Carmelo Hayes. I definitely didn't think that they would pull the trigger on Indy Hartwell becoming our new NXT Women's Champion. The brutality of matches like the Fatal 5-Way for the North American Championship, or the unsanctioned match with Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller. Sean, you rated a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I rated an 8.5. It's definitely great. Dragon Lee impresses in his debut. Yeah, the only downside really is the women's tag team title match. And a lot of people can argue with me on that, but I didn't really care for it. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my NXT Stand and Deliver 2023 review for the channel. I just wanted to get this review out of the way so that way tomorrow we can just focus on WrestleMania Night 1. That's right, tomorrow before WrestleMania Night 2, we will review WrestleMania Night 1. And ladies and gentlemen, in just a few short hours, 4 hours away from WrestleMania Night 1, it is absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to turn the post notifications on. We are here every single goddamn day, and it does not stop because WrestleMania season is here, and it is going to finally be over after Sunday. And ladies and gentlemen, happy WrestleMania weekend. I couldn't think of a better way to kick off WrestleMania weekend than with this amazing NXT pay-per-view. And yes, so ladies and gentlemen, this has been your boy Willie Does Wrestling. I'll see you in the next video. Be good, people.